Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodesh. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Um, I just wanted to do this video going into Matthew the 26th chapter. All right, dealing with the Lord's Passover, and you know, I saw the elder apostle Gabar had done a video, also as well, you know, going into and many other brothers as well. All right, but just dealing with the seriousness, all right, of the Passover, of the Lord, and the kind of spirit, that in remembering, see when we eat the unleavened bread, representing Yahweh Shai's body, the lamb, we the bread, and then we drink the wine representing his blood. We're remembering, we're doing this in remembrance of Yahweh Shai, so we're not just remembering what he said, but we're also remembering, what he went through. Okay, so if you're remembering that, you have to remember what kind of vibration, was out there, and as Apostle Gabar mentioned in his video, especially when the Lord broke the news and said, all right, that somebody was going to betray him, the tension in there was hot. It was thick. Everybody was scared. You probably would have lost your appetite. You know. So I'm going to start off here. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 20. It says, "Now when even was come, he sat down with the 12, and as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me." So now imagine that. You actually have to, as you're reading this, you actually have to imagine it, and put yourself in that, position, to where here it is, you guys are keeping the Passover together, and as you're eating, the Lord just says it like, "Yo, one of you is gonna betray me," and everybody is wondering like, "Yo, is it gonna be me? Like, am I the one?" Like everybody's shook, you know, because if the Lord, all right, if the Most High set it up that through prophecy, or to fulfill prophecy, he was going to have you be the one to betray the Lord. Just imagine that, and even if you weren't the one to betray the Lord, the fact that, somebody amongst your circle that you had no clue about is going to betray the Lord, the Messiah, him being with you this whole time, teaching you, learning from him and all of that. All right. That's enough to definitely make you lose your appetite. It's like, yo, what, what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Right, so verse 22 says, "And they were exceeding sorrowful." You hear that? They were exceeding sorrowful. Hearts were beating, people were sweating. All right, the people's minds were going on. They were looking at each other, wondering what's going on. Like who is he talking about? Like what's happening? It says, "And began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I?" Because they were all shook. Like, yo, what do you doing? Somebody's gonna betray you. What do you mean? What reason would we have to betray you? We've been with you all this time. You know, we basically rode with you everywhere you went. You know, cast out devils in your name, healed people in your name. You know, constantly learned. Hey, they even when they were on the sea, all right, and the waves were roaring. And Yahweh Shai calmed it down. That was a life threatening experience to them, to the disciples. At the time they were disciples, that was like they thought they were gonna die. So that's a moment that they wouldn't forget. You know, that basically is like, yo, he saved our life because we basically thought we were gonna die. So you think about times like that, and the miracles the Lord performed and all of that. And then he turns around and tells you that one of you is going to betray him. So everybody, of course, they were asking, who was it? Verse 23, and he answered and said, "He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed." All right. So like it says, the Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, meaning what? To fulfill prophecy. All right. Meaning whatever the Lord is going to do, guess what? He had to do it. He was going to do what he had to do anyway. All right. Because that was what was written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. Yeah, it's for prophecy's sake. All right. But woe unto you woe unto that vessel that was chosen to fulfill the prophecy while by betraying the Lord, man. All right. Hey, shalom, shalom. Shalom, Zaquani. How about Shemel Shai Brakatah? All right. And shalom to you all that are watching. All right. So it says, it had been good for that man if he had not been born. All right. Then Judas, which betrayed him, and see, you got to also understand that this is why you have to fear the Lord, because Judas didn't, when we read in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter, it says, it is not of him that runneth, nor of him that willeth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. So Judas Iscariot was a vessel that was chosen. The Lord chose him to fulfill that task. When his spirit was created, the Lord, the Most High, had already appointed that at that specific point in time, that he would be the one to betray the Lord. Can you imagine that? The Lord didn't ask him. He didn't get a say. Even if Judas did not want to, the Lord would have put a spirit on him to want to and go ahead and do it. That is the fear of the Lord, man. So now you think about it, how any one of us could have been Judas, and you hearing this, the Lord is telling you it had been better if you were not even born, but yet you're stuck doing something that you couldn't even have avoided for prophecy's sake. All right. So you got a lot going on. Now, think about this not only from the perspective of the disciples, but from the perspective of Yahushua. He knows all of this, but even knowing all of this, as the moment draws closer and closer, the tension gets more and more. The nervousness gets more and more. You start thinking like, yo, like it really starts to actually hit you what it is that is happening and what it is that you're about to go through. And imagine Yahushua not really having an option and just having to go through that, and understand that literally there's no other way. Like this, like whatever he's going through is like, this is the most painful thing, right, that any of us could go through, but he cannot stop. There's no other way. What are you going to do? You know? But let's keep reading. So it says, verse 24, the Son of Man goeth, I read that. 25, then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said. Now, when you read, all right, in I believe also in Luke or so, it tells you how this basically Satan entered into Judas to go do what it is that he had to do, you know, and that's why you got to pray that you don't end up being that vessel, that Judas vessel, the Judas vessel where the Lord decides, you know what, I want it to be you. I want you to be the one to sell out brothers. I want you to be the one who to break, to get tortured and to break. We all gotta pray that we don't end up in that shoe, man, or in that position. All right, so it says, verse 26, and as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, Take, eat, this is my body. So now also imagine this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know. So now also imagine this, how you know the disciples are sitting there and they're looking at all of this that's going on. Now everybody's asking, Lord, is it me? Lord, is it me? Lord, is it me? You know? And then Judas asks, and the Lord basically tells him, Yeah, it's you. And they're there and they're seeing it. They're like, what the hell is going on? Like, can somebody explain what's going on? You know? And at some point, it's like you still haven't caught on yet. Because I believe in John, when you read it, it tells you how when the Lord sent, when he told Judas, go do what you have to do and do it quickly, they thought that he was talking about Judas having to like buy some more things they might need for the Passover, or having to go give money to the poor or something. It says, verse 27, and he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. And that's the thing. When people, talk about the Lord, they, you have people that talk about the Lord so lightly. They talk about his death so lightly. They talk about his crucifixion so lightly. Whenever you hear Jesus died for my sins, they say it so, like it's drinking water, like it's so light. And when they say it, they don't really picture or imagine what exactly that means. What exactly the Lord had to go through for them to even for that to even be a possibility for them to say something like that. You know, but here it is. You got a wicked ass individual who would say, "Oh, don't judge me. Jesus died for my sins," and then go ahead and commit iniquity. So, what do you think is going to happen to somebody like that? You know, the Lord. You see, the Lord is done being long suffering. He's done forgiving. He's done with that. You know, there's a certain portion of people that the Lord just doesn't even want to hear it anymore, man. There's no room for I'm sorry, I want to repent now. All of that is gone. It's gone, man. It's gone. And now all that's left is destruction. Literally, as it says in the book of Second Esdras, that the multitude perish which was born in vain. There's some people who you just look at them and you wonder, like, what do you do? Why are you here? What do you actually do? Are you just matter that just takes up space? But hey, their job is to be the extras. Their job is to be a part of the multitude that was to perish in vain. You know, it's Passover night, but how many people out there do you really think are actually who actually even know? There's Israelites that don't even know the Passover exists. There's Israelites that don't even know that they should keep the Passover. You know, hey, at some point I didn't even know I was supposed to do that, but showing you the mercy of the Lord. Right. So continuing verse 29, it says, "But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." And when they had sung a hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. All right, so they ate, they sung, all this was said, and then they went out to the Mount of Olives. It says, "Then saith Yahushua unto them, all ye shall be offended because of me this night." See, so now, like, imagine the mental toll this is taking. Like, first you hear, out of nowhere, the Lord just hit you with somebody's one of you. He didn't even say somebody. He said one of you, right? One of you is gonna betray me. Then he basically exposes Judas. And then they go to the Mount of Olives, and then the Lord is like, he's telling them now, all of you are going to be offended because of me this night. What do you mean? Like, what are you saying? Right? For it is written, because when you're close with somebody, and you hear they're saying stuff like that, especially concerning you, you're like, yo, a lot of, you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. It says, "I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen, I will go before you into Galilee." Peter answered and said unto him, "Though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended." So he told him, Peter, you could tell he wasn't going, hold back. He told him straight up, "Lord, look, man, everybody else could get to be offended and do all that, but never, I'm never gonna be offended." But then again, we got to understand that that's the fear of the Lord, because we can say one thing, but we're not, whether we do what we say or not isn't really up to us anyway. And that's what Peter found out the hard way. Yahushua saith unto him, "Verily I say unto thee, that this night before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice." You're saying that you're never going to be offended, right? Even though all men get offended, you're never going to be offended. But you don't even know that you're going to deny me not once, not twice, but three times. 3 times. You're going to deny me 3 times. I mean, you can't say it was an accident, because Yahushua understood the power of prophecy. And think about that too. Like, damn, like, yeah, it's sad because, like, you got that mindset, like, yo, I'm really gonna fight for you. I'll die for you, but you don't even know what you're gonna do. He's like, you're saying you're gonna do this, but you don't even know what you're gonna do. You don't even know that you're about to do the opposite of that 3 times. Peter said unto him, though now imagine from Peter's perspective, you know, I'm gonna deny you 3 times. Didn't you just hear me? Like I literally just said, that I would, like basically like if anybody got offended, it wouldn't be me. And then you turn around and tell me that I'm gonna deny you 3 times before the cock crows. Peter said unto him, though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. Likewise said all the disciples. See? So it wasn't just Peter, you know. He said, Lord, nah, man, look, I'm willing to die. I'm willing to die, all right, with you. I'm willing to die for you. And they all agreed. Khan, yeah, Khan, hell yeah, you know. Verse 36, then cometh Yahushua with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him. So, he's telling the disciples this. Some of them, they're still trying to grasp it. Some of them are like, yo, something ain't right. Like something's about to go down. Lord is speaking something. He's speaking some talk right now. Like, what's happening. And Yahushua himself knows the whole deal. What is about to happen, what he has to go through. So he goes to pray. But as we're going to find out, he had to go through this alone. See, when you go, there's a saying, misery loves company, right? And when you go through certain things, whether you know it or not, it's easier when you have others there in the same boat or others there that support you. And you don't really see that until you're in that position where you feel like you're alone and you'd rather, like I'll give you an example, man. You have certain like a woman that's with a man, but he's abusive, right? Like a domestic abusive case or whatever, right? Sometimes the woman gets abused and you wonder why does she still stay with him? Because it gets to the point where in her mind, where else is she gonna go? She is so afraid of being alone that she'd rather put up with that than to just be out there alone. Because that's how when you're in like a tough situation, that's how that's how much being alone can be. So now imagine what Yahushua has to go through, and nobody can really even comfort him in that, in that. Peter's words couldn't even, Peter said, yo, I'll die with you, Lord. But he's like, you don't even understand that this is something I'm going to go through alone. Whether you wanted to or not, according to prophecy, you can't, I have to go through this. I'm not saying like I want to, but I don't really have a choice here. All right. So imagine all the pressure, really the whole world of Israel, salvation depends on this right here. So I can't I'm stuck. I have to go through it. All right. So it says, verse 37, and he took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee and began to be sorrowful and very heavy, so that he started getting pressed in the spirit because he could feel the time drawing closer and closer. All right. Now you imagine that you're about to die, but just, the way you're about to, I mean, just, oh man. It says, then saith he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful. Now I'm pretty sure Yahushua had some, memorable moments with his disciples, where they shared laughs, or whatever, it's different experiences, and of course you remember stuff like that. When you notice that, yo, I'm about to leave, you know, I'm not gonna be with them anymore. You'll remember like the good times you had. You'll remember all the different experiences you had, knowing that basically it's about to be no more. Now, it has to be. It's like one of those things that, for that period of time, that 3 year span, there's moments when you might, go say something or do this, and it might, you might drown it out of your mind for a while, but constantly it's on your mind. Constantly it's on your mind. Whenever you see Jake, imagine that. Whenever Yahushua sees Jake, he remembers, or it comes to mind what he has to do. He's constantly reminded what he has to do. And as it gets closer and closer and closer, it gets, the feeling gets greater and greater, it presses. It says, uh, verse 38, then saith he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful. All right. When you say my soul is exceeding sorrowful, that means he was, he was just pressed. He was pressed. His spirit was super pressed. You know, like it says, even unto death. Okay, like you're at the point where you really see no value in life anymore. Like it's almost like life is not worth living. Like you're so, it's just so much. It says, tarry ye here and watch with me. Now, you really have to imagine this is Yahushua, second in command, right? The only begotten of the Father, literally the first spirit created, by the Lord, okay, given the blueprints along with the Elohim to do all this is him, second in command. All right. And even he, knowing this was about to happen, felt this way. He felt that like, damn, like, yo, watch with me. Like, you know, it says that he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, oh, my father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, as I not as I will, but as thou wilt. All right, which even that shows you that the Most High and the Yahushua are two different people. Because why would he say, not as I will, but as thou wilt? He's clearly making a distinction between himself and his father. Oh, my father. Three, right? Oh, my father. All right, what does that tell you? That means that if you have a father, clearly you're not your father now, are you? You know? But going back to the point, so Yahushua is praying here to the Lord, to the Most High, like if it's possible, please, like just let this cup pass, and that was out of fear and stress. But Yahushua knew in his spirit that that prayer wasn't going to be answered. He knew that he wasn't going to get the answer that his flesh wanted. Because he knew in the spirit there was no other way around it. You are the only one. In Revelation, the 5th chapter, it tells you how the Apostle John wept because there was nobody that was found worthy. Nobody, none of the angels, nobody was found worthy to do what Yahushua did. And had it not been for him, we would have been dead. It's over, So Yahushua said this prayer, but in his spirit, he knows, like, I have to do this. I really, it's not something that anybody would want to go through, but he literally like has no option but to do it. Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Shemel Shai Brakatah. All right. So it says, um, verse 40, and he cometh unto the disciples and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, what? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour? So just imagine that, like you're going through all this, and your disciples, you ask them, yo, stay up, watch with me, you come back and they're asleep. It hits you that much more with the realization that, yo, I'm in this alone. You think Yahushua felt sleepy at that point? No. But the Lord, the Most High, put that spirit of slumber on the disciples, all right, to really emphasize the point to Yahushua that, hey, this is your task. They cannot, do this with you. They cannot be in this with you. You have to go through this by yourself, completely by yourself. Of course, you're gonna have the spirit of the Most High to, guide you through it, but this is something you have to go through, you know. Now Peter's out here saying he's not going to deny the Lord, but you couldn't even stay up, to watch with the Lord. So imagine how Yahushua must have felt. You go and pray, and as you're praying, you can tell the difference when the Lord, you can feel the spirit when the Most High is really listening to your prayer, or when he's not really trying to hear that. And that's why after Yahushua prayed the first time, he had to go back again, as we're about to read, right? Verse 41, it says, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. You see, the flesh is weak. But in that weakness, it gets very desperate. And if you don't have a strong enough spirit, your flesh will convince you not to do the right thing. It'll convince you not to do what you have to do. All right. It says, he went away again the second time and prayed, "O my father, if this cup may not pass away from me except I drink it, thy will be done." Because the spirit kicked in. He realized, he's like, yo, I don't think, what I'm saying, like, I don't think this is I have to go through this, So that's why, Lord, let thy will be done. There's really no other way. If I have to, I gotta go through this. Just give me the strength, and let your will be done. It doesn't matter what happens to me. That's why he said, my meat is to do the will of the Heavenly Father. The Yahushua knew his purpose. He knew what his mission was. So you got to really understand, if you were sent from the heavens down, in the likeness of flesh to do that one thing, what, you can't back out then. And he knew that. So that emphasizes how stressful, like how vexed he was in the spirit, knowing that there's no other way out, but still praying to the Lord for another way out. Do you understand that? I'm so pressed in the spirit, but I know there's no way out, but I'm just so pressed that, like, I have, like, I'm just hoping that maybe, you know. But it says verse 43, and he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy, and even that was a sign. The Lord was showing you, how shall I look? No, there is no other way. As you can see, you're in this, you have to go through this. This is your job, this is your task. All right. This is why I sent you. It says, verse 44, and he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same words. All right. Lord, if this cup, if this cup is, he knew the cup is there, it's there. He felt that time drawing closer and closer. He said, look, Lord, I mean, it's looking like this is the only way. This cup isn't gonna pass. So let your will be done. And guess what? The Lord's will was done. Verse 45, it says, Then cometh he to his disciples and saith unto them, Sleep on now, take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. And one thing about it too is you're thinking like, yo, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners, but what did he do wrong? That's the one thing that really, like, hits you, like, okay, what did the Lord do wrong to deserve that? They did all of that, and he's gonna say it. It says, rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. Basically, Judas is here. All right. It says, while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves, and the chief priests and elders of the people. He basically brought everybody. Why? Because they all wanted Yahushua. They wanted him dead. It says, now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same as he, hold him fast. Because as even I think Paul said it, greet the brethren with a holy kiss is a form of greeting. So he basically made a deal with them and told him, look, man, whoever I kiss, symbolizing, all right, that's him. Grab him up. So they come up the whole joint, they all pull up. And like I said, they came with swords and staffs. And that's like today if they pulled up with guns, AKs, bulletproof vests, all of that. You got somebody, a so-called brother, and he pulls up, all cops, all these people, just boom. You seen the siren lights and all of that, and they coming for you. It says, and then he comes up to you and he shalawams you, like shalawam, he gives you the salute and all of that. And immediately them cops know, no, that's him. They all draw their guns pointed at you, freeze. They moving in freaking SWAT teams and they helicopters and all that extra stuff. That's a lot of tension. Now, Putting it in modern day form. Imagine brothers who are with you. They looking around. They seen the helicopters coming. They seen the SWAT team coming. They're like, my goodness, like yo, this is crazy. You know, they got the laser sight, on the gun, so you can see the lasers pointing on your chest, on your face, and all of that. Your heart is beating. You like, yo, anything could go down at this point. But Yahushua knew what exactly was gonna go down. You know, so you gotta constantly look. The mindset the Lord was in, but also, damn, what's going on through the disciples' minds? You know, you got Peter saying, "Lord, I'd rather die with you," but now you're seeing like, yo, things are getting heated. You know, it says, verse 49, and forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, "Hail, Master," and kissed him. And Yahushua said unto him, "Friend, wherefore art thou come?" Then came they, he said, friend, wherefore art thou come? And then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him. So they grabbed him up. Yup, that's him. They were like, nah, we're not letting him get out of our hand. But why? You know, why? What reason did they have to grab up Yahushua, to apprehend him? All of that. It says, and behold, one of them, which were with Yahushua, stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. All right. And I believe that one was Peter. All right. Because he wasn't playing. Back then, man, really, honestly, if it wasn't for the prophecy, man, because you could tell Peter, he was ready, but prophecy had to be fulfilled. And that's why the Lord said, "Get thee behind me, Satan," because he was gonna be adverse to the will of the Lord, regardless of what that may look like. Even if you think you're trying to do good, you know, the will of the Lord. If you are trying to come against the will of the Lord, it doesn't matter what the will of the Lord is. Even if the Lord wills to put somebody to death, you can't come in the way of that, right? So he smites off. He took off the ear quick, like, yo, step back, like, yo, you bugging. Verse 52, when it says, "Then said Yahushua unto him, Put up again thy sword into its place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Thinkest that thinkest thou that I cannot pray to my Father? I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels." Like, do you know who I am? Do you know the power I have power? The Lord is basically telling Peter, I'm not. They didn't grab me up because I can't do anything. They didn't grab me up because I'm weak like that. But it has to be done. What did he tell John? He says, Suffer it to be so, that the prophecy may be fulfilled." And Yahushua suffered it to be so, that the prophecy may be fulfilled. Do you know how much do you know how much damage one angel can do? All right, now imagine 12 legions of angels. He said, I can call 12 legions, and they can come down. He said, now I can pray to my Father and call 12 legions of angels. So now you know that in the back of your mind that you can do that. All right. But you do not do that. How much think about it. How much discipline, self-restraint would you have to exercise in that moment, you know, to just go with it? And you know exactly what's going to happen when they take you. All right. It says, verse 54, "But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be?" You see, Yahushua said, he said, look, yeah, I can do this, but how's the scripture going to be fulfilled? The scripture concerning what we're reading about right now, Yahushua being betrayed and what he has to go through, there's literally no other way for that scripture to have been fulfilled but by the way that it was fulfilled. If Yahushua was like, nah, I'm not with this literally, like, how would that scripture be fulfilled? Like he said, Peter wasn't going to do it. It wasn't going to be John or Thomas, or no, it had to be Yahushua. That would mean that the prophecies in the Old Testament, all of that was all for naught. So it's almost like all of that came to this boom, this very moment, point in time, and Yahushua had to play his role. Okay. And we have to learn from that mind, that mindset. Look at what he went through, that he may fulfill the prophecy. It says, in that same hour, said Yahushua to the multitudes, are ye come out against, he said, are ye come out against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. So, are you coming out, am I, what I'm saying? Am I a thief? Did I steal something from anybody? You know, am I a criminal? You know, you know who I am. You know my father. You know my brothers. You know my sister. You know, I was in the temple. I was in the temple teaching with you. You saw my face. You heard the words that I taught. You saw the miracles that I did. But if I was so evil, you didn't grab me up then. You had the opportunity. I was literally in the midst of you. You know, I'm this thief, I'm this criminal. Why didn't you grab me up then? You guys coming with all these staves and swords as if I'm some zealot seditionist, you know what I'm saying, who's rounding everybody up to rebel or something. It says verse 56, but all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. So now you imagine that. Yeah, I told you were gonna do it. But actually seeing that happening, you see John, you see Bartholomew, you see Thomas, you see Jude, okay, his brother James, his brothers, his biological brothers. Because when you read it, it says Peter was the only one that followed afar off. So even his brothers, even his biological brothers, man, who were in the truth with him, what happened? They forsook him and fled. They ran, scattered. you know. But Yahushua wasn't mad at them. He told them, according to prophecy, it has to happen. But imagine seeing that, you know. You remember, if you see like James, for example, you remember what James is like throughout all your experience with him. You remember what John is like throughout all your experience with him. How close they were, how humble, how they looked up to you, how they learned from you, how just literally not long ago they all just said, "Oh Lord, we will never forsake you." And now fast forward to the present time, what are they? You're seeing them running. One is this way, one is that way. This guy's over here, and you're seeing all of them legit just, And suddenly you're just by yourself, and all you see around you are just all these people who are looking at you like you're wicked. They got their torches, yeah, their stabs, they got their swords. You got wicked ass Judas over here. You know, you got Judas over here. He brought everybody. I'm just imagine what that's like. All right. And the Yahushua had to bear all of this, man. All right, for our sake. So really think about that, man. Really meditate on that. All right. It says, verse 57. It says, and they that had laid hold on Yahushua led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. See, so over there, they were ready. All right. The people grabbed him up and they brought him here. The people over here, they were ready. They were like, yo, they got the court and everything set up. The Sanhedrin, everybody's waiting, you know. It says, but Peter followed him afar off onto the high priest's palace. Now, you got to understand, Peter followed him, but Peter had to follow him because what did Yahushua tell Peter? He was going to deny him 3 times. So Peter had to be there. He couldn't just flee. He couldn't, the spirit wouldn't have had him just flee like everybody else. He had to be there. He had to come. So he may make true what Yahushua said concerning him. All right. It says, and it's spiritual too, because the actual Passover, Yahushua being the lamb, the actual Passover, I believe it says on the, let me just pull it up. It says on the, okay, it doesn't come up on the other tab, but I'll actually just pull it up on here and read it. Brothers should still be able to hear me. All right, but it does talk about on the 10th day, let me see, 10th day, you get a lamb. All right, uh, there we go. Exodus 12:3. All right, it says, "Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house." All right. It says, check this out, right? It says, "And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb." Verse 5, "Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening." All right. So you were to take you basically separate that lamb or that goat. You take it out of one of the whichever one is going to be, if out of the lambs or out of the goat. All right. You basically separate it. You take it on the 10th day, and then you keep it until the 14th day before it gets sacrificed. You know, and it's spiritual because Yahushua being that lamb, guess what? The Lord separated him, had him alone until the point of his actual sacrifice, until the point of his actual death. You know. So as it says here, so everybody they're ready. They're like, yo, you know. I mean, man, these Jake. Oh my gosh, Jake, man, shit. It says, "But Peter followed him afar off," and that's why it says in the book of Revelation that all tribes wailed because of him. You know. It says, "But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Yahushua to put him to death." All right, so they were looking, they were trying to find a reason. You know, can we find anything he said? Can we, a false witness, like somebody, who can say he said something or he did something or we saw him do something that they can just find and just justify, exacerbate it, and then boom. It says, "But found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. And at the last came two false witnesses, and said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days." And they didn't even understand what he meant, but them just saying that alone was enough, right? It says, "And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it? What is it which these witness against thee?" You're not gonna say anything? It says, "And Yahushua held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God." So imagine how intense this is. Your disciples abandon you. You just here. The people in here, they looking at you. There ain't nobody trying to support you. They all looking at you like, "Oh, look at this guy. He call himself the son of God. He's talking about and just imagine how dramatic Jake is when those witnesses said, yeah, he said he was going to destroy the temple in 3 days, the temple of God. Oh, he's going to destroy. He's worse than what's the other dude's name? Damn, I forgot. I think in Acts it talks about the insurrectionist Thaddeus or something along those lines. I forgot the dude's name, but he said he basically men followed him and he led them to their destruction. Hey, nah, look, Gabriel, a warrior of power, bro. You're not. No, 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 no. Hold on a second. All right. So it says here, yeah, and I basically just okay, I put him up there on timeout. Basically got him out of here, man. You be on some weird energy, man. That's not cool, bro. That's not cool. All right, but anyway, so it says so imagine how dramatic they are. Oh my gosh, he said he's gonna destroy the temple. Oh, like this guy, he's just crazy. He's just out of his mind. You get him, He's going around doing this. And I'm like, yo, Jake, man. Verse 63, it says, but Yahushua held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living power that thou tell us whether thou be the anointed, the Son of the Most High. All right. It says, Yahushua saith unto them, thou hast said, nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter, all right, after this, shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. Now, when Yahushua said that, you got to understand, when is Yahushua going to come with the clouds of heaven? It wasn't 2,000 plus years ago. It's in the time we're in now. So why is he telling the high priest and those there that are with him that they were gonna? And the elder Atazwan, he really pointed this out, to me, and I was like, oh, it made sense because that's reincarnation. Because how would Caiaphas, and the rest of the wicked scribes and the elders over there see Yahushua, like it says, the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven? He told them they were gonna see. The same way it talks about those that pierce the Lord are also going to see him upon his return. Now, those men are dead. They didn't see the Lord coming with the clouds. But guess what? They're back here again today, and they will see the Lord coming with the clouds of heaven. And this time, they're not going to be able to do what they did back then. No, the roles are going to be flipped. All right. Verse 65, it says, then the high priest rent his clothes. He ripped that, It says saying he hath spoken blasphemy. So you can imagine he's not saying he has spoken blasphemy. He's he's hitting the table. He ripped his clothes. He's spoken blasphemy. These guys, like this guy, man. And you guys, yeah, this guy's great. Yeah, everybody's just, It says, what further need have we of witnesses? We don't need any more witnesses. You guys just heard exactly what he just said. Right? It says, behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy. They finally found what it is they were looking for them to finally be able to say, we got you. That's it. It's over. We're justified. They got the momentum. They got not knowing, not even understanding that it's prophecy. Had it not been for prophecy, Verse 66, what think ye? They answered and said, he is guilty of death. Now remember, in Israel, you had a Sanhedrin, right, which was like the made up of the scribes, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, and they were like sort of like the court, like the judges, you could say, of Israel. Now they had power to do certain things, but certain things, being that we were still a province under Rome, they couldn't just go up and do that, like putting somebody to death, And so when they say, okay, he's guilty, then now they're saying, okay, well, he's guilty of death. We're going to go seek permission so we can put him to death. Okay. Now, I believe also in the book of Luke, it talks about how they basically said it was blasphemy, that he said he was the son of God. But then he said, hold up, is it not written in your law that you are gods? Is that not blasphemy? But you turn around and I say I'm the son of God and I'm a blasphemer, right? It says, so they said, no, he's guilty of death. Kill him. No, he got to go. He's trying to destroy the temple. He's saying he's the son of God. He's saying, verse 67, it says, then did they spit in his face? Spit. Now, really, here's one thing, right? If somebody, even just in this world, somebody spat, if somebody even spat on your shoe, that's like, yo, bro, whoa, whoa. If they even spat on your clothes, but the spit on your face, can you imagine that? They probably do that hawk spit, that phlegm pull, and then on your face. But what makes it worse is you're the son of man, that you're the son of the Most High. The Most High created you, and you created these spirits. You created all of this, man. You're above all of them. And to be put in a position like that, and in the back of your mind, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, these people don't even, I'm telling you what it is. Like, this is the truth. It says, and buffeted him and others smote him with the palm of their hand, slapping him. Now you think when they slapped him, do you think they just did this something light? No, So of course that was gonna hurt. And when somebody slaps you, that pain, that's like a rageful anger. Like that pain, like it brings rage. Like if you get slapped by somebody, man, you want to put hands on them. So imagine this, man. You getting spit on, you getting buffeted, and nobody's standing up for you. Everybody there, you look left, we look right, everybody there they're looking at you like they just want to kill you. They don't care. They in their minds, oh, they'll be better off if you were dead, you know? And you came here for them. Wow. It says, saying, prophesy unto us, thou anointed, who is he that smote thee? But then you think about it and say, tell me, what evil work did I do? Did I not heal that man that couldn't see? You know, did I not perform all these miracles? Did I not bring back Lazarus from the dead? Did I not bring back that young man that was dead on the? They were gonna go bury him. His mother was crying all over the place. When Yahushua's fame went about, it was because of the miracles he did. Did I not heal these wild ass demons off of these people? If you were to look at Yahushua's, it says the works he did. If all the books in the world couldn't contain them, so you look at all the works he did, and these were all miracles, helping people. Where does it say in the Yahushua's ministry, that ministry, that he put somebody to death, or that he plagued somebody with a sickness? It doesn't say that. So if you thinking, you're sitting back and you're saying, hold up, but he brought people back to life. He healed people. He did all this. But you guys are acting as though he was like Barabbas, or like he was going around shanking people, murdering people, stealing, committing adultery. It says, verse 69. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, thou was with Yahushua of Galilee. Like, yo, you were with him. You were one of his disciples, But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. Nope, I don't even know what you're talking about. Yo, who the hell is she? What's she talking about? Verse 71. And when he had gone out into the porch, another maid saw him and said unto them that were there, this fellow was with Yahushua of Nazareth. No, he was with him. He's part of them. He's part of them. And again, Peter denied with an oath. With an oath. I do not know the man. That's crazy, man. But do you see the power of prophecy? See, so people talk about, if you understand this chapter we're reading here, you'll understand that there is no such thing as free will. People talk about free will. People speak of free will as if they have the will to do whatever they want. You don't have. Look at Peter. Do you think Peter wanted to do this? It was almost as though Peter was in a trance from before him denying the Lord till after he denied the Lord. It was as though Peter was in a trance in that section right there, because he says, Lord, I'll rather die. I'll give up my life before I betray you. But then you betray the Lord. And then afterwards, he goes and he weeps. It says he wept bitter. We're going to go into it, So it was like he was put in a trance for prophecy's sake. The Lord put that, the scriptures say, who has resisted the Lord's will? He put that spirit on him like, no, you're going to do this, and you're going to do it well. All right. So he denied with an oath. He swore up and down, I don't know this man. I don't know what you're talking about. Who the hell is he? What are you talking about? You probably talking about somebody else. That's not me. I'm a fisherman. Right? It says, I catch fish. Verse 73. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said unto Peter, surely thou art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth thee. Because remember, Peter being a Galilean, it's like talking to somebody from Philly, or talking to somebody from like the South that has like a Southern accent, as opposed to talking to somebody like from the Bronx, or something of that sort. Somebody from New York. You can definitely tell that the difference in the way you speak. You can say the same thing, but it's the way you speak. It's how you say the y'alls and Yah, like, yo, y'all crazy, or y'all's is crazy. Like, I'm just giving examples, saying the same thing. You can tell based on how they speak. Oh yeah, nah, he's definitely he's from this area, or he's from here. So Peter's going, he's swearing up and down. Imagine a hood a hood guy from the deepest, darkest depths of the projects ends up in like Wall Street or like Manhattan somewhere. And they're like, yo, aren't you from the hood? You know? And he's out here like, yo, so what you talking about? I ain't from no hood. I'll square up with you right now. Like, yo, I'll shoot I'll run the 1040, whatever they say. Obviously, they're gonna say, this guy's definitely from the hood. Do you hear how he's talking? Like, bro, you're definitely from the hood. So Peter's out here denying up and down, saying, oh, I don't know the Lord. But his speech, they're like, yo, bro, even like we can tell you're a Galilean. Like, that's you. All right. It says, then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. So he was just in full denial of Yahushua. And immediately the cock crew. Immediately. All right. And that was like, looking at his spiritually, that was like the snapping him out of that trance of like, boom, it's done. You need to go, you need to be in that zone. And then once that cock crew, that's it. Boom, what Yahushua said, you just did. All right. It says, and Peter remembered the words of Yahushua. Now, I believe in the book of Luke, it tells you the Lord turned. The Lord turned and the Lord looked at him. Because obviously the Lord could have heard him. You know? Damn, man, imagine that. You're about to be crucified, they're smacking you, spitting on you, telling you all these things. And then you hear even your own disciple, and he's not even like he's not even trying to defend you. He's swearing up and down that he doesn't even know you. As if everything that he just said, all that, and I mean, how should I understood it was prophecy, but I don't even know this man. Imagine what that feels like, you know? Like, it feels like they literally turned on you, like, damn, Peter, shit, yo, man, literally, say, yo, if you love me, feed my sheep. Do you love me? Do you love me more than these? Remember when I said that? Do you love me more than these? You said, thou knowest. You said, yes, I do. But look at you swearing up and down like you don't even know me. As if, I mean, hey. But it says, immediately the cock crew, and Peter remembered the word of Yahushua, which said unto him, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. All right. He wept bitterly, man. I mean, of course he sought repentance, but just imagine how he felt when it finally hit him. Like, boom, exactly what the Lord said. When he said it, what did you say? When he said it, you said, "No, Lord, I'd rather die than to deny you." And here you are, catch yourself. You caught yourself like, yo, damn, what the hell? And here it is. They took the Lord, but I'm pretty much gonna stop it here. I'm not gonna go, all throughout. If you wanna, continue reading, get the full story. All right, just continue reading. 27th chapter, or read in the book of Luke or wherever else. But just wanted to go into that. Showing the seriousness. Because we're reading all of this, man, but this actually happened. All right, how shy was I mean, this happened, man. So whenever we keep the Passover, it's very serious. It's not like the other holy days, man. This is a very serious, solemn date, and you have to remember what was going on. Yahushua didn't get to go and keep the Passover and come home. He didn't get to come home and like put his blanket on and go to sleep, lay his head on a nice pillow, and whatever the case may be. Yahushua didn't get to do that. All right, it doesn't matter how cold it was. It doesn't matter what the case was. After that, they ate that. That was it. He was by himself till he died. All right, he was by himself till he died, man. His disciples fled. The head disciple denied him 3 times. All right, He was beat. He was embarrassed. He was stripped naked. I mean, he was just they just, you know what I'm saying? And then he was put on the cross, man. That's what happened. All right, to Yahweh Shai. So when you keep the Passover, remember what Yahweh Shai went through on the Passover and what he did for us. All right. And whenever you out there, man, remember that that's the love that Yahweh Shai have for us, man. So whatever we have to go through, whatever cup we have to drink, we owe it to the Lord. All right. We owe it to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. This is the reason we're in this truth now. Because of Yahweh Shai doing that, giving us the ability to be able to seek mercy now. So when you go out there to the highways and byways, man, make sure you're going out there passionately, man. All right. When you do your lessons, man, make sure you're doing it passionately. Because when Yahweh Shai was going through that pain, he didn't stop. He wasn't lukewarm. He wasn't looking back on the plow. All right. He gave his all, man. And when he was done, he said it is finished. So we got to give it our all. All right. When you think about that, all of a sudden it could be negative 20 degrees out. That doesn't really feel like anything now, does it? All right. So we got to do our part as well. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash. Till next time, Shalom.